Sometimes your bad habits don't blow up your life. They just make it worse 5% every day. You don't notice it at first. The dishes sit for an extra day. You cancel one workout. You tell yourself, I'll sleep early tomorrow. But these things don't reset. They just stack up like emotional tech debt. And one morning, you wake up in a life that feels like it belongs to someone else. Not a crisis, just a little off. So let's not get there. Today, I'm going to show you how to recognize these patterns before they become a default. I'm I'm doing this as someone who has rage scheduled themselves into tears, vacuumed their entire apartment just to avoid one daunting email, and accidentally dated someone with an anime villain arc and thought they could be saved. Do you ever feel so motivated that you schedule a 6 a.m. run, a deep clean, and Spanish classes all on the same day? That is not productivity. That is delusion in a Google Calendar. Rage scheduling is what happens when you mistake momentary clarity for lifelong capacity. You have a good hour, maybe a good day. So you plan the next 2 weeks like you're superhuman. Except when the future arrives, it finds you curled up under a weighted blanket, avoiding your calendar like you owe it money. Story time. Like one Tuesday, I meal prepped for an entire week, scheduled therapy, and signed up for a creative writing course and told myself I'll finish this YouTube video by Sunday. By Thursday, I was having a panic attack in the Chipotle line, trying to decide whether I deserved walk or not. What broke? We don't plan from our worst days. We plan from our best moods, high on optimism and low on context. Every time you schedule big and fail small, your brain locks that as shame and schedules a bigger thing next time to compensate. This is a cycle of false hope, missed tasks, and a rinse and repeat of disappointment. Before you schedule, ask yourself, would I still do this if I'm tired, bloated, and mad at someone? The sacred act of reorganizing your closet instead of responding to that one scary text. This is the art of looking busy while you're dodging your life. You're not cleaning because you're clean. You're cleaning because the inbox feels like a battlefield you're trying to avoid, and avoiding it feels like self care. Last month, I color coded my Notion pages while my partner waited to talk about something serious. I wasn't ready, so I made a Kanban board for my emotions that I was unwilling to process. My highest priority task, I'll deal with it later. Emotional discomfort isn't labeled, so we treat all tasks equally. Respond to the boss and alphabetize your socks feel the same, but one is more loaded. So we do the one that feels more achievable and call it productivity. You get a hit of dopamine for completing something, even if that something was not meaningful. And then you go, I'm too tired to deal with the real thing now. Hence, reorganize and repeat. How do you fix this? Pair one emotional task with one snack based bribe. Seriously, one hard conversation should be equal to one cupcake at the minimum. And maybe you whisper to yourself, this is emotional laundry. It smells worse the longer I wait. You didn't fall in love, you got hired as their unofficial therapist, their cheerleader, and their program manager. So you meet someone. Love is in the air. They're charming, they're mysterious, they're slightly broken in that their therapist started ghosting them, and then you think you can fix them. They just need love, structure, and a bullet journal. What begins as a connection turns into management. You're baking banana bread at the middle of the night while listening to them unpack their childhood trauma for the fourth time this week. You make excuses. They just need someone to be patient. She's blunt, but she means well. He doesn't communicate, but I can decode his silences. Meanwhile, your life is on pause while you emotionally onboard them to being a functional adult. No deliverables, no gratitude, just more work. Why did this happen? You learned love through labor, you associate caretaking with connection, you feel worthy when somebody needs you, especially if it's messy. And then you forget your needs. You become the manager for someone else's pain while yours festers in the backlog. You mistake effort for intimacy. How do you fix it? Ask yourself, do I love them as they are? Or am I editing them for a version they never agreed to be? Because if you're rewriting someone else's bio like it's your job, you're not dating, you're in HR, and you're underpaid. You don't have to go to couples therapy. You just start with your own therapist. Ask yourself, why do I think love means fixing someone instead of being safe with someone? Then leave the Jira board. You're not the DevOps team. You're a person who deserves peace. So what now? What do you do with all this information? You don't need to fix every habit overnight. You need to see it, name it, track it, call it out when it repeats. Some habits need small tweaks, some need boundaries, and some, they need witnesses, friends, therapy, and some real talk. This is not a self-improvement plan. This is a debugging protocol for your own heart. So make your own risk register. Notion, sticky notes, the Notes app, anything. Start logging what keeps reoccurring, not with guilt, but with curiosity. Because nothing gets better if you pretend it's fine. It gets better when you say, hey, I think there's something wrong here, and I want this to be better.
Every like, share, and subscribe feeds one emotionally exhausted YouTuber, and that YouTuber is me. Cupcakes are accepted, but clicks work too.